Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
All for the youngest. Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
They wanna know.
They wanna know
Who I do it for?
who I do it for.
I do it all. I do it all. Do it for the kids.
They wanna know. They wanna know who I do it for.
All right, welcome. This is week 3 of the Daily Snack. This is our 3rd week doing this. I can't believe we've already made it to week 3. If you have watched the first couple of weeks of this, welcome back. If you're brand new to the Daily Snack, we've got some stuff back in the past that you can go and you can check out. Do that. It'll get you kind of up to speed on what we're doing. Have some fun doing that. So if you're new, what is the Daily Snack? Well, this is a place you can connect every weekday with what's happening with your friends at Journeys Crossing, at JC Kids. And right now, the theme of the Daily Snack is something we're calling Winter Extreme. So everything that we are doing right now, because it's winter. I know it doesn't really look like it. I came here from Minnesota. Winter looks a little different there. It looks more extreme. But everything that we're doing right now is kind of in that Winter Extreme vein. So we play extreme winter games. We look at how to live extreme lives for God. We'll check in on the status at the Winter Extreme X Factor games later this weekend. Of course, we always finish the Daily Snack with a trip to Club Dance, a great place to hang out at the end of the week. But first, a snowball fight. All right, it's snowball fight time now. Like I said, I'm not in Minnesota anymore, so there's no actual snow outside. Hard to say winter extreme here. It's extremely unsnowy. But we've got these ball pit balls. I've always been told not to touch yellow snow, but I guess today I will. So here's how this game is going to work. First of all, I've got some people playing with me. On my team is Caleb, and we are getting ready to absolutely dominate our opponents over here.
No.
This is Brooke, my wife. She's a
No.
pastor here on staff. My daughter Julia. I hope you enjoy losing games because that's what's going to happen. All right. So here's what we're going to have. We're going to put 60 seconds on the timer, and then we are going to be throwing our snowballs from one side to the other. When 60 seconds are up, we will count how many snowballs are at each side of the middle line, which is right behind me here. The winner gets to reveal our key to extreme living this week. The loser gets a whole bowl of ice dumped on the back of their shirt, which is pretty extremely lousy. So, are you ready to win?
Yes.
Are you ready to lose?
No.
All right, here we go.
We're gonna win.
I'm going to come over here. Our timer is going to be right over here. So, get ready to go. What do we got? 50 seconds. We got 50 seconds of this left. If someone says, how did those blinds get broken? I'll remember that it's Caleb's fault. All right, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. All right, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. 8, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everybody hands up.
Oh, you cheated.
What? Cheated?
How?
No one can see me back there. I don't know how I cheated, but we are going to pause. We're going to count up the balls. I will meet you back at the studio. Okay, and we're back in the studio here, and we've counted up the balls on our side of the line, Caleb. There were 57 snowballs. And Brooke, on your side of the line, there were
108.
108 total domination. from Caleb and I. That means that Caleb and I get to reveal this week's key to extreme living, which is this: disciples of Jesus respect authority. That is going to be the key that we explore throughout the rest of the week here at the Daily Snack. But those who had 108 snowballs on their side get some ice down the back of their shirt. So here we go. I've got ice. I'm not going to put all of this down there, Julia. I'm going to break it up a little bit here too. But I've got some ice here to put down the back of your shirt. So Caleb, why don't you come assist me?
Okay. How?
You guys are mean.
That sounds. So here's what I need you to do. Julia, you probably want to hold your hair up out of the way. Caleb, why don't you just hold the back of her shirt open? And here we go.
Is it cold?
Maybe one more. Right there. All right. Brooke. Oh, it froze to the bowl. We gotta fix that.
Just use his phone.
All right. We've got it mostly unfrozen here. All right. So same thing. You probably want to get your hair out of the way there.
You probably do. Oh,
Probably do.
Do I get a warning or anything?
You get a warning.
Oh, God.
This is fun. She laughed so hard when I ate durian a few weeks ago. Oh, this is going to be great. All right.
Okay.
And here we go. And there it is.
Is it cold?
Now that was fun. I hope you come back tomorrow to the Daily Snack. We're going to be talking more about this key to extreme living. Disciples of Jesus respect authority. This was awesome. Oh yeah, that's real good right there. All right, see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah. Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
All for the youngest. Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
They wanna know
They wanna know
who I do it for.
who I do it for.
I do it all. I do it for the kids.
All right, well, my name is Jeff. Welcome to the Daily Snack. I hope that you've got a little snack with you. I'm right here. I got one of my favorite things to do, actually, which is just to open a bottle of cereal and munch on them. So I've got some Fruit Loops here. I'm going to be munching on these. I hope you've got a nice little snack with you. Hope that you're comfy and ready to better understand how we can live an extreme life for God. Now, if you didn't check out yesterday's Daily Snack video, you missed a great extreme challenge. And when you're done with this video, I want you to go back and check out yesterday's. At the end of the challenge, we revealed the week's main point, our key to extreme living that we'll be focusing in on this week. Let's check it out right now. Disciples of Jesus respect authority. What an interesting main point this week. What an interesting key way to live extreme lives for God. Let's think about this a little bit. God is the highest authority, and He is in charge of everyone and everything on earth, whether they know it or not. In God's wisdom, He placed authority figures like maybe our parents or our teachers over us to guide us and to help us make good decisions. He wants us to respect and obey them when they tell us something. And if we do that, we'll be showing respect not only to them, but to God also. Now, even Jesus respected authority. It's true. There's a story in the Bible about some people who tested Jesus about authority. They were trying to trick him. Let's go ahead and check this out. This Bible story is about something that happened to Jesus, and it's written down in the first book of the New Testament by a follower of Jesus named Matthew. This was right towards the end of Jesus' life. And we see him entering into the city of Jerusalem for the last time. And if you know the story, Jesus went riding into town on a little donkey, and people worshiped him as he came to town. And then he cleared out all the naughty people who were in the temple, and the leaders of the religious group. Well, they didn't really like the things that Jesus was doing and the things that Jesus was teaching. So they start to challenge Jesus and to start to question, who are you and why are you doing this stuff? And then they start trying to trick him, because what they want to do is arrest him and murder him. Horrible stuff. So, this story about Jesus' life is found in the book of Matthew, chapter 22. The story takes place, like I said, in Israel, actually in Jerusalem, and there's a lot going on in Israel you need to know back when Jesus walked on the earth. The people who were really in charge of Israel, it wasn't the Israelites. You see, the Romans had conquered Israel, and now the Romans were in charge. Most of the Israelites, guess what? They weren't too happy that someone else was ruling their nation. They had to do what the Romans said. They had to pay taxes to Caesar, who was the man in charge of Rome, which is what we talked about last week at the Daily Snack about a tax collector named Zacchaeus. Well, one day, some of the Pharisees, who were teachers of the religious law, which, again, it's such a hard thing to think about, religious law, that's so weird. They decided they wanted to try and get Jesus in trouble. Essentially, Jesus wasn't doing everything that they were doing and wasn't always agreeing with them about who God was. Well, they decided they were going to trick him. They were going to trick him into saying something bad so that they could go and tell the Romans. And if their plan worked, Jesus would get arrested. So they found Jesus, and this is what they said to him.
Teacher, we know how honest you are.
You teach the way of God truthfully.
You are impartial and don't play favorites.
Now tell us what you think about this. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not?
All right, now remember, most of the Israelites did not like having to pay taxes to the Caesar, to the head of the Roman government. So I'm sure they would have been really happy if Jesus said, hey, don't worry about it, don't pay your taxes. But if Jesus said it's okay not to pay your taxes, then he would have been in all kinds of trouble with the Romans. What would he do? Jesus was too smart to fall into their trap. He knew what they were trying to do, and so he said, why are you trying to trap me? Come on, show me a coin that you use for the tax. And they handed him a Roman coin. It was a lot like our coins today. And there was a picture of someone on it, just like our coins today. And Jesus looked at the coin and he said, okay, whose picture and title are stamped on this coin? And it was an easy question. It was Caesar's picture and his title on the coin. So they replied,
Caesar's!
Well, that's when Jesus taught them a little something about authority. He said, okay, well, why don't you give to Caesar's what belongs to him, and give to God what belongs to God? The Bible tells us that these religious people were so amazed that they just gave up and went away. They tried to get Jesus in trouble, but instead, he taught them a lesson on authority. We should all respect the authority figures that we have in our lives. Like I said, like our teachers and our parents, because God put them into our lives. Just like the Israelites, they had to respect the Romans as the authority in their lives right then. Most importantly, though, we need to remember to respect God's authority in our lives and always do the things that He is teaching us to do. Because disciples of Jesus respect authority. You know, if we really want to be true followers of Jesus and live extreme lives for God, we need to respect the authority figures that are in our lives. We're supposed to respect authority. It means we should obey authority figures when they tell us to do something, and we shouldn't talk bad about them behind their backs. But you gotta wonder, is there ever a time when you should not obey someone who is in authority over us? It's a really good question, and I would answer that question, yes, there is a time when we shouldn't obey an authority figure. If someone who has authority over us tells us to do something that we absolutely know is wrong and not the way God designed us to live, then we shouldn't obey. let's think about this for a second. Imagine you are at the grocery store with your mom. And you're getting ready to check out, and right there next to the checkout, my favorite section of the store, this part that has all the candy that's there to tempt me to eat it. And your mom says, hey, see that package of M&Ms? No one's looking. Put it in your pocket, and then you can have it later. Well, first of all, that would never happen, right? Our mom would never tell us to steal candy from a grocery store. But let's just think about it for a second. What if she did? That would be a time to not obey her and say, you know what, God is teaching and tells me really clearly in the Bible, in this book, that we shouldn't steal candy from a store. We know what's wrong to steal. God tells that in the Bible. So in a situation like that, that's like basically the only situation, but don't obey your mom if she tells you to steal candy from a store. Can you imagine? What would you do if you were in a store and your mom said, hey, steal that candy? I mean, would you just fall over? It would be so weird. We should respect authority unless they tell us to do something that we know is wrong. It's against what God says in the Bible. It's not the way that God designed us. But other than that, we definitely need to respect and obey authority, because the authorities in our lives are there to help us live out the life that God has designed us to live, to help us make good choices in our lives. And this, I gotta tell you, I know it doesn't sound extreme, but this is an extreme concept, because the world all around us, well, they tell us that we get to decide who we want to respect and when we want to respect them. There's no idea that there's a God who's in charge of it all, and he has authority. He's given us people that we're supposed to respect because they're an authority over us. It's just wild, man. The world would be a whole lot different if we just respected people who were in charge. We've seen a lot of wackiness over the last couple weeks, and I think it's a lot because people don't respect any idea of authority. So this is this week's key to extreme living. Disciples of Jesus respect authority. This week, make sure that you are listening to the people that God has put in your lives. Obey them and don't talk bad behind their backs. I will see you tomorrow to learn more about this interesting key.
Young man, always surfing, no waves.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day!
Get happy.
Well, welcome back to the Daily Snack. I hope you've been able to tune in a little bit this week and hang out with us. I hope you got a nice snack with you too today. I've got some graham crackers with me. I like these as a snack. I gotta get these eaten before my kids find out I've got them, or else they'll be gone. If you haven't checked out our previous videos this week, go check them out. We had a fun time playing some extreme games. We took a look yesterday at our key idea this week on living an extreme life for God, our main point, which is disciples of Jesus respect authority. We looked at how that looked in Jesus' life and how extreme that concept really is. But now it's time to check in with our friends Rock, Steadfast, and Scooter at the Winter Extreme X Factor Games. It is time for the ski jump competition. Let us go and find out what's going on and cheer along for Rock and Scooter.
Jump. That's the event today. It's being brought to you by me, Bob Kudos. In this event, skiers will do their best to gain speed while moving down a slope and then launch themselves off a ramp and attempt to hurl themselves as far as possible while remaining within the side boundaries. Whoever jumps the furthest wins. For more on this, we go live to Snowplow Svensson. Snowplow?
Thanks, Bob. First up for the ski jump is returning champion Rock Steadfast. And Rock begins the long descent, hurtling towards the ramp. Here comes the takeoff. Beautiful launch for Rock. Now Rock just has to keep it steady for as long as possible. There's a slight veer to the left, but still looking good. And there's the touchdown. Yes, a beautiful landing by Rock. Barely managing to stay inside the boundaries, Rock has really set the bar high for the other competitors. Wait a moment. I've just received word that one of our officials is citing an infraction on Rock's jump. He says that Rock went out of bounds on the landing. This decision will cost Team Steadfast some points and definitely hurt Rock's final standing. Let's take a slow motion look at the landing. I can't agree with the official on that one. Rock was clearly within bounds. But until further review, the official's call stands. Rock is charged points for landing out of bounds. Quite a disappointing development, Bob.
Quite a disappointing development, Bob, indeed, Snowplow. For more X Factor ski jump action, stay tuned. I'm Bob Kudos.
I cannot believe that official. He clearly saw that I was inbounds, yet he said, "You're out of bounds." And not only that, look at that instant replay. It shows that I'm inbounds. But you know what? There's still kind of only one thing to do. And Scooter, guess what? You're gonna help me. Scooter, Scooter.
Oh, hey, Rock, dude, I'm totally just helping out with your little authority problem.
Cool, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Guess what? First,
No. Actually, I've gotten all that taken care of because of the Extreme Athletes Against Authority Association.
The what is gonna do what now?
Dude! The Extreme Athletes Against Authority Association! Za, dude, totally Za, that's right. We heard about your problem. You know what? We're totally gonna take away all of the authority! And we're gonna give him a big za and another za!
No. Za? And what are you talking about?
Oh, dude, I'm talking about all of the extreme athletes who've had a bad call, dude. We're gonna join together and we're gonna take down authority, dude.
Scooter.
No more getting bad calls, no more authority,
Scooter, you're not
no more
making
getting
any
told
sense.
what to do.
You are scaring me with all this revolution. I mean,
Embrace the fear, Rock. That's the sign of the revolution against authority. Authority, watch out because Za's on your case. Oh, yeah!
I got a better idea.
What's your idea?
Me and you, let's just go to the administration building, make a formal written appeal, and...
I like your style. You go to the front.
All right.
And you distract him while I go to the back.
Okay. And then do what?
I'm gonna go, Seriously, stop! What are you yelling at me for?
Scooter,
What?
we cannot have a world with no authority. You know, look, we might not like the decisions that authorities make all the time, but you know what? We still have to respect them and obey those rules. You know why? Because there would be mass chaos. I mean, people would be cheating. I mean, these rules are for you.
Huh? I don't
Look.
understand.
We don't have people who enforce these rules. Guess what?
What?
We would never be able to tell who won or lost. People would always be arguing back and forth. There are boundaries and rules for our protection. You know what? God has set up authority in our life, and that means we need to do what they say do.
So you're telling me that God is over all authority?
Yeah. He's over all authority, and listen to this. You respect God, don't you?
Well, I respect God more than anything, but that call is just so bad.
It was, and like I said, we're never going to agree with every decision that authority figures make in our lives, but you know what? We just need to use the proper channels, man.
Well, how do we do that?
Well, first what we need to do is go to the administration building, like I said again, make the formal appeal, and then trust that they'll judge correctly. I mean, they've got the footage.
So, no za?
No za.
Well, okay, we'll do it your way, and we'll go submit an appeal.
Sounds good, man.
And I guess I'll respect their authority.
I'm super proud of you. Come on, man, let's go.
Are you sure? No za?
No za.
No baby za?
No.
What about a zzz?
Welcome back. Late-breaking ski jump news brought to you live by me, Bob Kudos. Rock, Steadfast, and teammate Scooter made an appeal to the administration earlier today concerning the out-of-bounds rules made by the officials. The administration has reached a decision. Rock was not out of bounds, and Team Steadfast will give back the lost points. That means that Rock will be back in first place and will take home the gold for the ski jump this year. I'm Bob Kudos.
Oh, yeah, Rock, we did it! We did it! Team Steadfast is back on top! You were the best best uphill submitter and ski jumper ever, dude. You're so extreme.
No. We're not totally back on top.
But dude, we won the gold.
I know we won the gold, friend, but check this out. We're still last in the overall competition. No, don't worry about that. Hey, did you learn anything important from everything that we... All right, what'd you learn?
Dude, I learned that we need authority in our lives.
That's right.
Just imagine if we would have gone through all that ZA stuff. You're been crazy. Whose idea was it anyway? That was your idea, dude. That was my idea. Hey, Rock, wait up, dude.
Wow. Extreme Athletes Against Authority Association? ZA? I don't think that would have worked out too well. You know, earlier, Rock mentioned that the Bible tells us that all authority comes from God. And the verse he was talking about is in the New Testament of our Bibles, written down by a guy named Paul in his letter to the Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. That's going to be our Bible verse for the week. Let's check it out. All right, Paul says that everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from God. And according to this verse, respecting authority is actually a really big deal to God. It's how God designed us to live our lives. It's why respecting authority is such an extreme way to live life for God. And since God is the highest authority there, he is the one who deserves our respect and worship ultimately. Now, here at the Daily Snack, we've been learning some interesting techniques to help us remember these verses, because God wrote these things down in the Bible, not so we could read them and go, oh, that's neat, and then forget them. He actually wants us to learn these things and keep them in our brains and apply them to our lives. So we've yelled verses while we've had cookies stuck in our mouth. Last week I had a cookie on my head and tried to drop it in my face, but I tried to say the verse while it was up on my head. This week I've got some M&Ms. Some of them are hiding out behind my cactus here. This is actually my daughter Emma's cactus. This is Tim the cactus. She has named her cactus. Everyone say hi to Tim. Hi, Tim. She says she likes it. The cactus likes it when people talk to it. I don't know if it does or not, but it makes her feel good. All right, so I have got, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 words to this verse, and I've got 12 M&Ms here. And so how this works is that, have your Bible verse somewhere where a parent or someone can see it. Lay out as many snacks as you need. Fruit snacks will work good for this. M&Ms are nice too. And then for each word of the Bible verse you get right, you get to pick up the M&Ms. So it's going to work like this. Everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from God. Got them? And now I get to eat them, which I won't do on camera because you guys don't need to see me scarf M&Ms. But another interesting way to be able to use just, something like food in order to help learn some of these verses. And in the end, you get a nice snack out of it. It's a great way, by the way, to convince your parents that you need M&Ms in the house. I need M&Ms. It's how I'm going to learn the Bible. What parent's going to turn you down when you say you need M&Ms to learn the Bible, right? All right. Now, this is a really difficult key this week, that we need to respect authority, but it is really extreme. It's no fun doing things that people tell you to do, especially when you don't really want to do them. If someone says do the dishes and you don't want to do the dishes, that stinks. If someone says clean your room and you don't want to clean your room, that stinks. But this is the perfect way that God designed things. And so, disciples of Jesus, respect authority. Because imagine a world where no one was in charge of anything. Man, it might sound good for a little bit, but you pretty soon learn that nothing gets done. Nobody gets people in trouble who did wrong things. You can't get the things you need, and it would be chaos. So, live the extreme life, respect authority, and come back and check us out tomorrow. Bye-bye. Surfing, no waves. All right, well, hey kids, welcome to Thursday's edition of the Daily Snack. We brought some friends with us this week. I've got Yari with us. I've got Cheryl with us. These guys miss you. We don't get to see you very often, so we all miss you. We can't wait to see you again as COVID, I don't know, decides to get up out of here someday. Someday it will. It's moving now. So we wanted to talk through some of what we've been talking about this week. Our main point is key to extreme living, and that is disciples of Jesus respect authority, which is kind of a weird point. It doesn't sound real extreme, and it sounds confusing. It's difficult to know what authority is, what it means to respect it. And so Yari and Cheryl and I are going to talk about that and see if we can help you understand how extreme this is and what we should do with it. So I've got a whole bunch of questions that I'm going to pepper them with. Yari, Cheryl, you ready to answer some questions?
Yes. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. So let's start with this. Disciples of Jesus respect authority. What is authority? What does that even mean?
You want to go first?
Cheryl? Well, respecting it, you said, what does that mean? To respect authority means to understand why that person is in a position to either protect you, lead you, guide you, and you should take heed in everything that they say. You should listen to what they tell you to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like what you said, that they're in a position to, it was guide you, protect you, help you. Those people in authority, they're not just bosses who are just bossing you around. They're there to actually do all those things for you. That's a really good thought. All right, so let's go on to the next one. Who are some of those authorities in our lives? Who are in those positions?
Yeah, I think, like government can be authority, our parents, of course, maybe grandparents, teachers, pastors, policemen, firefighters.
Yeah. Yeah, your small group leaders, when we get back to church, your small group leaders like Yari and Cheryl, they're in authority over you for a while too. Like when they say like, hey, it's time to stop talking, man, y'all should listen to them and respect them, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So I was thinking, so today we're recording this on Wednesday, which was Inauguration Day. So we saw all the pageantry and all that kind of stuff as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn in as president, vice president. It made me think that, so there was a president and vice president before, and they left office, and about half the country really liked them. And then we had new people sworn in today, and about half the country really likes them. So we don't always like the people in authority. But the Bible says that these people who are in authority are actually placed in our lives for our good. And Cheryl, you hit some of those good things earlier. They're there to protect us. They're there to guide us. They're there to keep us safe. And I wrote down they provide some order in life so that things aren't just like chaos all the time. So first of all, maybe the question is, those people in authority who are doing all those things, do you think we're always going to like the things that they're telling us to do?
No, we may not always like the things that they tell us to do, but out of respect, as long as what they're telling us to do is not hurting other people and you're not hurting yourself, then you should do what they tell you to do, even if you don't necessarily like it or agree with it. You got to remember that they're telling you to do something for a purpose, and the purpose is to keep you safe. Like we said earlier, there's different reasons why they're telling you to do something. But as a child, you should listen to people who are in a position of authority, as long as they're telling you to do something that's not against the Bible or that's going to hurt someone or hurt yourself.
Yeah, we're all parents, and so we all tell our kids to do things, and I know my kids do not always like the things that I tell them to do, but I do always have a reason for it, which gets me to my next question. Like when someone in authority tells us to do something, is it okay to ask why they're doing it? Is it okay to question authority at all?
Yes, I think it's good. We have brains. We can ask questions. Maybe we don't know what's the purpose, what's the reason behind it. So I think it's always good to have questions and ask why this happened or why I should do that. So, but I think that the way you do the question is also, you have to do it in a respectful way.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're all parents. Do our kids ask us questions? Yes. Do they ever ask us for questions disrespectfully? Yeah, at least mine do. So what's the difference between kind of a respectful way to ask a question and a disrespectful way to ask a question?
Well, I think it has to do with why you're asking the question. Are you asking the question because you don't want to do what you're being told to do? Or are you asking the question to get more information so that you understand how to do what you're being told to do?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think anytime you get that kind of whiny tinge to your voice, that starts to go into the land of disrespect. When someone says take the trash out and you go, why? Yeah. Stomping, also a sign of disrespect, kids. Any kind of loud foot movements as you're moving to the object you're supposed to do, definitely a sign of disrespect.
Or rolling your eyes too as well.
Rolling your eyes.
Or throwing the head back. Oh.
Now we're getting into it. I like this. All right, so we might not always like the thing that authority tells us to do. We might want to ask some follow-up questions so we understand it better. Will people in authority always get it right? Will they always tell us the right thing to do? We're all parents, and we know that we're opening up a can of worms right here.
I know, right?
Yeah. No, I think people sometimes they do mistakes, right? And they're not always right. So of course, some people with authority may ask wrong things for us to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking back when I was in school, man, I used to sit next to a kid who was constantly doing goofy things, shooting spit wads across the class and talking when he wasn't supposed to talk. And sometimes the teacher would look back and think it was me, who was a perfect angel. And I would wind up getting in trouble for it. The teacher wasn't right to blame me for something I didn't do. She got it wrong. But in those situations, I still had to be respectful to that teacher because she was the authority. And it, the guy next to me was being a knucklehead. I mean, I could point at him and say, he did it. But ultimately, I still had to respect that authority and say, you know what? She's human. She got it wrong. So.
Right. And sometimes, being parents, sometimes we do get it wrong. And it's okay to come back to us and have a conversation about it. As long as you're respectful, you sit down and you talk about it with your parent. So even if you're being blamed for something, it's not your fault. And they're telling you to go to your room, go do this or go do that. And you're like, I didn't even do anything. You do it. And then you come back and you have a conversation and just see and just trust the process.
That's right. Man, if I had a nickel for every time I heard the phrase, I didn't do anything, I'd have a lot of nickels. All right. So ultimately we talked about sometimes we like leaders or we don't like leaders. Sometimes we don't like the things they're telling us to do. Sometimes even our leaders get it wrong. But ultimately, we need to respect the people in authority over us, and we need to obey the things that they tell us to do. Is there ever a time not to? Is there ever a time when we should say, no, I shouldn't follow this thing that they're telling me to do?
Yes, but like Cheryl said earlier, if it's something that is against what the Bible said, what God says, of course, we don't want to do that because we want to be obedient to authority, but we have to be obedient first and foremost to God's authority.
Right.
Yeah, he is the ultimate authority, right? He's the one we're really trying to please. He's the one who we worship, so he's number one in our lives. And he's the one who ultimately is the one who is gonna, he's the one in charge. So the example I gave the kids earlier this week was a funny one. Is if your mom ever tells you to pocket a packet of M&Ms at the store and steal it and eat it later, that's one that might be tempting, but that we should say no. That God doesn't want us to steal. We shouldn't do that.
Yep.
I think the whole thing about authority is a little bit tricky, but I think this is a pretty extreme way to live because I think most people in our world kind of tell us like, well, you got to look out for you, and it's really about what you want and what your feelings are. And so if someone tells you to do something, but you're not really feeling it, then it's okay just to tell them no. Or if they're not a nice person, or they don't ask you nicely, then you shouldn't have to respect them. If they don't respect you, you don't respect them, and that kind of thing. But I don't know. As I read the Bible, that's not what I see. I see we're supposed to respect authority. Is that kind of? I mean, you guys have read the Bible a whole lot, and is that kind of what you're seeing? Is you respect authority even if they're not always, even if they don't have it right, even if they're maybe not super nice to you, you still respect it, right?
Yeah, because it's not always about you, it's about others, right? And we as Christians, is usually important for us that we are here to serve others, and through how we show kindness to others and how we treat others is really how we preach about God's love. So it's not always about how I feel or how in a certain situation. It's about others too.
Yeah, that's a great point. People see who God is based on how we act and how we live. And so when we're respectful and kind and show love to others, people get a little bit of glimpse of who God is. That's a good point, Yari. And I think that kind of brings us to the end to our conversation about this real key to extreme living: disciples of Jesus, respect authority. So any final words, Yari, Cheryl?
Yeah, children, listen to your parents. Just want to put that out there.
Amen. All right. I think that's it. So, hey, thanks for hanging out in the Daily Snack with us. Make sure you tune in tomorrow because we are heading to Club Dance. I have a brand new theme for us. I think you're going to love it. And I can't wait to worship alongside tomorrow. So until then, I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
All for the youngest. Young man, always surfing, no waves.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to our final daily snack of the week. Welcome to Club Dance. I am so glad that you guys are here today. All week long we've been looking at one of the keys to living extreme lives for God, and it's that disciples of Jesus, followers of Jesus, respect authority. So we've been talking about authority all week long. We looked at Bible stories. We've looked at what Rock and Scooter are doing at the Extreme X Factor games. We talked with Yari and Cheryl yesterday, but today it's all about, oh man, the week is over. Let's just dance and sing and unwind. I was thinking this week as we looked at authority that sometimes we think that the word authority and the word love are kind of opposites, but that's not the case. So I thought that our theme today for Club Dance should be love, because the Bible lets us know that God is ultimately the authority in this world, right? He made the world. He is over the whole world. He is everywhere all at once. He knows everything that's going on. He's in control. And but the one word that the Bible uses more than any other word to describe who God is love. In fact, when we want to know what real love is all about, we only need to look to God and His Son Jesus in the Bible. The Bible lets us know that God really shows us what love is by sending His Son Jesus to earth for us. So let's kick off this edition of Club Dance, the Love Edition, by singing a song about what real love is all about. Here we go.
Staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized, here with you. Now this love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. Oh, and it's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. This is real love, this is real love. This is real love, this is real love. makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. This is real love, this is real love. This is real love, this is real love. Oh.
Well, how do you guys like that song? I always love when we sing that together on a Sunday morning at the building. I get a little out of breath sometimes during that song, but you know, some of the best songs are like that. Well, let's keep going with this love theme because, God shows us not just what real love is, but what perfect love is. We've got a song called Perfect Love that talks about how this perfect love accepts us at our worst. It can't be reversed or taken away. It drives fear out of our lives. It calls us to draw near to Him. It's the love that God's Son Jesus has for us. So let's sing about this perfect love.
That takes me at my worst. There's a perfect love that can't be reversed. Ooh, yeah. This perfect love drives away all fear. This perfect love calls all to draw near. Jesus, the Son of God. Jesus, the Son of Man. Jesus, the King of Kings. Jesus, the great I am. Jesus. There's a perfect love I do not deserve. I don't deserve. There's a perfect love that will never swerve. Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah. This perfect love drives away all fear. This perfect love calls all to draw near. Jesus, the Son of God. Jesus, the Son of Man. Jesus, the King of Kings. Jesus, the great I am. Jesus.
Hey, God gave His perfect love, His one and only Son, who spilled His perfect blood, that sin may be undone.
Jesus, the Son of God. Jesus, the Son of Man. Jesus, the King of Kings. Jesus, the great I am. To you we raise our hands. To you we raise our voice. For you we humbly stand. For you we do rejoice. Jesus.
All right, 2 down, 1 more to go. Man, like I said earlier, sometimes authority and love, they don't seem to be, anywhere related to each other. They don't seem to jive, but God is the ultimate authority, and He has this perfect love for us, this real love for us. And think about some of the authority figures in your lives, like your parents. Man, your parents love you, even though they're an authority.
us here at JC Kids, we love you. And when you come on a Sunday morning and hang out with us, we've got a little bit of authority over you a little bit, but man, we love you. Your teachers have some authority over you. They love you. They do what they do just because they love and care about you. So, man, authority and love, they really do go hand in hand. And why respecting authority is such a key to extreme living, because it's a way to receive the love that we were designed to receive. All right, one last song to talk about love, and that is this song, Relentless, which reminds us that God's love for us is relentless. It means it won't stop. When we turn our backs on God, He doesn't turn our back on us. He keeps chasing us down because He loves us so much. And it'll just never stop. There's nothing that we can ever do that will separate us from the love of God. So, get up, dance along, sing along to Relentless.
Salvation sounds a new beginning. As distant hearts begin believing, redemption's bid is unrelenting. Your love goes on. Your love goes on. When the world gives way, carry us with your endless grace. Carry us.
All right, how was it? How was our love-themed club dance day? You know, sometimes when we think about love, we think about slow songs, and we think about kind of slow dancing, people swaying, and that's not what we did today, is it? Because love doesn't have to be quite like that. We can have a whole lot of fun and get up and dance and have fun with this idea that God loves you. And I want to make sure that when you walk away today, you know that one truth in your life, that God loves you. He really, really, really does. I'm so glad you checked out the Daily Snack today. If you missed some episodes this week, just go back in a YouTube playlist, find the episodes you missed and watch it. And then we've got a couple ways to connect with God this weekend at the building Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. If you're watching this on Friday at 10 o'clock, we'll be there. You got to register at ilovethischurch.com/events, and you can be there for a small group kids church gathering. And Sunday, we'll have the Daily Snack mashup available for you. All the Daily Snack episodes from this week, all smushed into one not snack-sized bundle. This is like a feast of snacks, and you can watch that on Sunday morning. Then we'll be back Monday with a brand new episode of the Daily Snack. I can't wait to see you either this weekend or Monday. Whenever I see you next, know that I love you, I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye-bye, everybody.
Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
All for the youngest. Young man, always surfing, no waves. I do it for the kids.
They wanna know.
They wanna know
who I do it for.
Who I do it for.
I do it all. I do it all. I do it for the kids.
They wanna know. They wanna know who I do it for. Who I do it for. Yeah, I do it all. Yeah, I do it for the kids. This right here for the kids. Yeah, I know what they want. I'ma give them what they need. Yeah, been real from the jump.